Every weekend, millions of people walk into a dimly lit auditorium, sit in rows for 90 minutes, consume a single presentation, and immediately leave. This one-size-fits-all model assumes humans have a single mode of experiencing their faith. It ignores the fact that different people require different environments to actually process what they're hearing. This structural layout is based on tripartite anthropology, a concept from the book of 1 Thessalonians. Tripartite anthropology is the theological view that a human being consists of three distinct, interconnected parts: the spirit, the soul, and the body. When we treat church as a 90-minute event, we often feed one of these parts while starving the other two. Think of those needing quiet prayer, or a rigorous debate, or just a place to belong. When the clock runs out, those needs go unmet. The continuous church model addresses this by replacing the weekly event with a permanent habitat. It is a persistent environment featuring three equal-sized rooms operating simultaneously throughout the day. To address spiritual burnout, the focus must shift from attending a fragmented service to inhabiting a continuous ecosystem that provides for the spirit, soul, and body in equal measure. The first room is dedicated to the pneuma, the human spirit, designed for communion with God. It's a 24/7 environment of unceasing worship and intercession, reviving the biblical watch-by-watch rotation system used by the Levites to ensure praise never ceased. Modern worship teams rotate every 60 to 90 minutes to maintain this atmosphere. This allows someone to drop in for 5 minutes of peace or anchor themselves in prayer for 5 hours without interrupting a scheduled program. This creates an encounter space that is not restricted by the 20-minute worship sets typically found in event-based schedules. By removing the pressure of a timed production, this room aligns the church's earthly practice with the unceasing day and night worship described in the heavenly throne room. The second room is built for the psyche, the human soul housing the mind, will, and emotions. Instead of a single sermon, it functions as a training hub, featuring a continuous rotation of short, focused teachings and theological dialogues back-to-back throughout the day. This is modeled after the Apostle Paul's strategy at the School of Tyrannus in Ephesus. When Paul faced resistance in traditional settings, he moved his disciples to this public lecture hall to continue his work. Paul taught at the school daily for up to 5 hours straight. This consistent reasoning and dialogue turned a secular facility into a public hub for intense spiritual training. Replicating this model allows listeners to engage their logic and renew their minds at their own pace, choosing the specific topics that address their current stage of growth. Transformation is a product of consistent Bible intake. This daily immersion provides the structure needed to move a listener beyond passive consumption and into the active practice of a disciple. The third and final room is dedicated to the soma, the physical body. This space recognizes that the spiritual life is inseparable from our physical and social needs. It is designed as an open lounge with free food, coffee, and comfortable seating. There is no set agenda here. It is a space for informal connection and rest. This practice is rooted in the early church's devotion to the agape feast, communal meals eaten from house to strengthen fraternal bonds. Early Christians often met in massive public spaces like Solomon's porch. These colonnaded courtyards provided the scale necessary for the community to gather organically, share resources, and provide hospitality to the public. In this room, hospitality is treated as a spiritual discipline. Conversations over a shared meal are the primary vehicle for building the trust and accountability that a healthy community requires. The early church understood that nourishing the physical body is vital to the community's survival, providing the social stability needed for worship and doctrine to take root in a person's life. When all three rooms operate together, the central connecting hub allows for a seamless flow between worship, teaching, and fellowship. Because the ecosystem is always active, there are no forced transitions. People move through the space according to their own spiritual rhythm, spend an hour in deep prayer, move into a theological lecture, then finish with coffee and conversation. You are in control of your own spiritual intake. The biblical metaphor of joints and marrow describes the soul and spirit as distinct but inseparable. In the same way, the continuous church model allows the spirit, mind, and body to function as a single integrated organism. This model replaces the 90-minute service with a persistent habitat. It restores the daily rhythm of the apostles, treating the Christian life not as a scheduled event, but as a total environment for the spirit, soul, and body.